better watch your toes, man. I'm sliding.
Welcome to Flame Flame Films. Joining me today, like always, is Mr. Hiccup Boy himself,
Zane Wilson.
Zane Wilson. Yes, as I said, Zane has the hiccups, so we might redline a lot through this episode. And when I mean we, I mostly mean Zane. This time it will be Zane redlining.
Yeah, but it'll be okay. We'll still have a good time.
So let's go ahead and get into it. Zane, what are the facts of our movie? What is our movie, by the way?
Today, our film is Pineapple Express, which was released in 2008, directed by David Gordon Green, written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, produced by Judd Apatow and Shauna Robertson, and starring, among others, Seth Rogen as Dale Denton, James Franco as Saul Silver, and Danny McBride as Red.
Nice. Good cast. Good cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if our viewers or listeners are paying attention, I mean, if any at all, you can see that we have a little trend going right now because this movie is not similar in premise to Superbad, but it has a lot of similar elements or people that worked on it that also worked on this film.
That would be correct, Zane.
Yes, and it was the first film I thought of the last podcast.
Oh, that is, yeah. We picked this film completely random because I haven't been picking films, but I know of next week's film, and we'll tell you that at the end of the episode.
Yes, so Pineapple Express tells the tale of of Dale Denton, who serves people's subpoenas, and James Franco's character Saul Silver, who is his drug dealer. Yeah, that's what do you think of the movie? But James Franco is Dale's drug dealer, and they're not really friends or whatever. But one night, Dale Denton witnesses a murder. And the two become...
Yeah, he's going on his way to serve someone.
Yeah, and the two become all wrapped up in this big drug war that's going on.
And then they become best of friends.
And then shenanigans ensue, as always. So Steven, what did you enjoy about this film?
Just like Superbad, I loved the characters. I felt all the acting was great. The lighting, everything in the technical aspect seemed fine, great.
Well,
the only little plot hole or little thing that didn't make sense is the only negative thing that I have to say is when he kicks his foot through the police window.
Well, again, the listeners need some context. You always go into this without just saying, like, we say the summary and then you're like, oh yeah, this thing happens and blah 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 with no context. So.
Well, don't want to give it all away, but okay. So when they're in the police chase after Saul steals the police car, and he's driving, and there's a bunch of red slushy all throughout on the windshield, and he can't see. He decides it would be a good idea to kick his foot through the windshield to make a hole, but his foot gets stuck. And then after he finally gets his foot back in, so he can see, the hole expands.
Well, yeah, because it broke. He broke it more when he pulled his foot back through. Also, there was a time gap in between that and the next shot, so we can just assume that it got more broken by that point. And also, I do have another question for you. So, whenever we do talk about I asked you what you liked about the film. I've noticed that you do say, like, usually, like, oh, I like the lighting and the editing and whatever. But I'm just, like, curious, like, I want to know, like, if you could go into more detail about that, because you always just kind of say, oh, I like the lighting, and then that was it. You never kind of, like, elaborate on it.
For this film, not more the lighting. Okay, actually, yeah, the lighting. So whenever they're doing any of their fighting scenes, so at the end of the movie, it's not, like, super exposed. You can still see that they're underground, where it's not, like, in certain aspects in certain movies, you know, if they're under a tunnel, you're like, it's pretty darn bright for being under a tunnel and being 6 feet, well, over 6 feet underground.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually still tell they're like, oh, this is still an abandoned, military facility.
Yeah.
So, like, the lighting like that, I like a lot.
That's cool.
Does that satisfy you, Zane?
Thank you. I think the listeners will enjoy that. So.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Was there anything besides that one, I guess, potential continuity error you pointed out? Was there anything else about the film that stood out to you that was not, like, the greatest, or that you just didn't like at all?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, when I don't want to do one of the scenes with Red, when Seth comes back and sees Red, one of that scene, you're just like, really? How?
How what? How is Red alive?
Yeah, how is Red?
Well, I think to me that gets a pass because that's the whole joke
I
is
know,
how is
I
he
know,
still alive
that's-
after all this
I know,
stuff has
that's it.
happened to
I was
him?
like, so, yeah, so, like, other than that, then no, not really.
Oh, okay, cool. What I really enjoy about this film is that, well, I've seen this movie multiple times, and it's never made me like laugh out loud really hard, but I'm always chuckling constantly throughout it. Like I'm pretty sure you noticed that today. I was always
yeah.
kind of happy with it, and I really I like the bad guys in the movie.
Oh,
I think they're funny because there are little moments here and there that are like kind of like relatable things or just like things that normal people would do that are like okay they're not just like some wacky drug dealers or corrupt cops they're just people.
Speaking onto that point, it's one of the scenes where the main drug lord and the cop,
Ted Jones.
Ted Jones and the police
Yes, and
woman,
her name is Carol Brazier.
Carol, are hanging out outside, and it almost seems like, I know we talked about it when we were watching
As
it,
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
the same exact scene.
and it almost seems like they told him like the scene was over, and he's, do you know the exact quote? I don't want to mess it up.
Well, he goes. Ted Jones goes over like this is over halfway through the movie. He goes over what they're gonna do. They're gonna basically go to war with the rival drug gang, I guess, in town, which are the
kill
Asians.
everybody.
Yeah, and then he goes, we're gonna do this and this and this and this, and then we're gonna be done. And he looks at her and he goes, now smile.
Yeah.
And then she gets annoyed with him and he's like, come on, say something in Spanish. And then she like just like punches him in the shoulder a couple times. He's laughing at her, and I really like that moment. I think it's funny and cute.
So that moment to me, it seemed almost like after he's like, we're gonna kill everyone, and then they said, cut, and then like he's like, okay, smile, and then she like does it. He's like, I'll say something in Spanish, and that just seems to me more like the two actors. The actor and the actress were just playing around.
Yeah, they were just
like,
they're having fun with it.
Yeah, having fun, and that's what they would be just talking like in regular, not when they're not acting. So that is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, and actually, I've listened to the behind the scenes like commentary track on the DVD a couple times, and I don't remember if they do say anything about that specific thing, if that is the case. But I kind of want to go back and listen to it and see if it is.
Yeah.
And some of the other things I really love about this movie is I think I know earlier I said that I like the bad guys because they're kind of like I guess relatable in a way. They have like human moments, but the way this movie escalates in its intensity, or at the start, it's like okay, yeah, Dale, he witnesses this murder. This drug guy kills this other guy. He gets involved. But then it goes. He gets really wacky toward the end because now I'll say what happens. But Dale and Saul go to Ted Jones's drug house, which is this giant underground abandoned military facility that Steven was talking about. Under
basically a barn.
Yeah, under the desert, and then it's this huge operation. It's really funny.
Okay. What is your favorite scene and or character?
Oh man, well see when every time I watch this movie,
It changes.
Because at first it was Saul, James Franco's character,
Yeah,
which he plays the best drug dealer ever. He's hilarious, and he actually got a Golden Globe nomination for his role in this film for playing Saul, which I thought was really cool, and then like the next time I watched it, I loved Dale Denton, especially at the very beginning when he does the montage of him serving subpoenas to people, dressing up as him people, and playing Electric Avenue. That's great.
What's her face is like, baby, I love you. I just want to get back together, and she's like, let's get married. He's like, actually, I am immature.
I think right now that is my favorite scene in the whole movie, where like also. Dale has a girlfriend in the movie, and she's in high school.
Yeah, she's 18.
a senior in high school. She's 18, so it's okay. He's like 25.
Yeah.
Age is just a number. But
Just a number.
I'm sorry. But at one point, he almost misses this dinner to meet her parents, and then he tells them about all the stuff that's happening. People are after them, and he assumes that the drug dealers are after the drug people are after her and her parents as well. So he tries to protect them. in his own way. And she's like talking to him on the phone at one point. And he's like, "Okay, I guess it's done. We're over. You're gonna go to college anyway. And listen to Godspeed You Black Emperor."
She breaks up with him.
No, he breaks up with her first. Yeah, because he said, it was bound to happen.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, you were gonna go to college, and like he said, you're gonna start listening to Godspeed You Black Emperor. That they're a band you don't know, but
Probably.
But after that
He has a
Dale
fight.
Dale has a fight and a falling out with Saul, which he didn't think he was his friend, but then they have like another like sad montage of Sal and Dale walking around town, and they're like, "Oh no, wait, actually do like Sal. He's a great friend." And then he calls his girlfriend back, and her name is Angie Anderson.
Great.
And he's like we talked about at the very beginning, like he's breaking down. He's like, "Oh my God, I love you," blah blah. And it's like it's kind of almost it's like a parody of like that same scene in like romantic comedies where
Oh yeah.
stuff that exact same thing happens where either the main guy or the main girl goes to their love interest and they're like, "I'm so sorry, I'll say, will you take me back," blah blah blah, and it works. But then she's like, "Let's get married," and then his entire demeanor changes. Like one second he was like having like he had this major realization in his life, and he's thinking about all this stuff and life changing things, and just like that, it's back to never mind. I'm not feeling it. I guess that we are done. She's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I just don't get married and all that stuff," and I can completely relate to that. Not that situation happened to me, but I just don't want to get married.
Zane does not believe in love.
That's a complicated issue for another time.
We'll
but
just have a one episode dedicated to what love is.
we can
bring in Matthew Renna, or the holiest boy we know. And that's a compliment. He's a really religious guy, so he can tell us the religion side, and then you and me will just be like,
religious side of love. Okay, anyway, let's get back on the film. So, to me, there aren't really any scenes that stick out in my mind that the film does, I think, very poorly. But at the same time, I do think in comparison to Superbad, I think Superbad is the better film. But I think I like watching Pineapple Express more. And I think I know why. I think
So why?
Huh?
So why? Well, before you dive in, let me just say my favorite scene. My favorite scene is when James Franco, right before he starts fighting the police officer, he's just like the whitest drug dealer you know, and he's just like, "F the police," and he holds the machine gun sideways.
No, he doesn't hold it sideways. He just fires it, and he doesn't control the recoil and just goes straight up into the air. And wastes all of his ammo.
Does he not start it with it sideways? I feel like he starts and then he turns it up.
Possibly, we might be remembering incorrectly, but what I like about this film is what I've said about a couple films in that we've talked about in the past, where this is, to me, this is the quintessential background movie. It is playing on Fox all the time, and I've seen it on Fox so many times, and it's just like, it's so great to just sit there or put on and just have it for like white noise. It's the perfect white noise movie, and I don't mean that in like a bad way, because I still enjoy watching it. Usually, if I do see it on TV, I'll sit down and then I'll just start watching and watch the rest of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, Steven, are there any closing thoughts that you have about the film?
Any closing thoughts? Well, Zane, my only closing thought is we have to do our review still. So,
What do you mean?
What would you relate Pineapple Express to?
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, do you have any other thoughts before we start that?
Any other thoughts? Other than the police scene, what are my other favorite scenes? I'm getting a phone call. They can wait. I also like how the movie finishes. Without
it's a great ending.
Without spoiling.
Yeah.
How it ends. That whole scene. The whole
last scene.
The whole last scene
is very funny.
Yeah, it's just great. I feel like it was a great way to wrap up the movie in just a nice, easy way.
Yeah, and I also say that the dynamic between Dale and Saul is one of the best. It's to me, it's like
Yeah, the chemistry of Seth
the
Rogen
chemistry is
and
amazing.
James
They-
Franco is still is off the charts, but in this movie, you can really see.
the two of them definitely, in my opinion, go up there with other comedy duos that are like that are like more towards like, I guess, like how should I put it? Like comedy duos that are known for like drug jokes, stuff like that,
Drug jokes, yeah.
like Cheech and Chong and Jay and Silent Bob, and then I guess just also like goofy like comedy duos like Bill and Ted, and people like that. I think they're up there with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
they're good.
another scene that's really good is the fight scene with Red.
Oh, that's
to
to me that's better than all the action at the very end of the movie in the barn. But not to say that stuff is bad, but
yeah. I mean, I think when you add like comedy and stuff all to it, then I think that is the funniest fight scene. Especially one of the funniest ones that we've seen in a while. I think just because like,
really.
my favorite, because the best part of the whole fight scene to me is when they're like teamwork and they kick the door down and it falls on Red, and then Red he goes, they're all like, there's just a bunch of craziness happens and Red's just like time out and they're like, okay, fine, we'll time out, and then he just flips the door and he goes time in.
Yeah, they're like children.
Yeah. That's my favorite part of the whole fight scene. I love that.
All right, well, Steven, what food would you relate this film to?
Okay, Zane. So mine's you probably don't like, but to me, it's like pineapple or Hawaiian pizza. So that's
Hawaiian pizza's great.
it is great. But as someone that's made pizzas and worked at Pizza Hut and stuff, I don't preferably like making it or eating it all the time. Like it's still good by itself. But to me, I'm not gonna seek out pineapple pizza. Like if I had other choices, I probably would pick them. But like if that's what I get, or if that's what other
Yeah,
people
you wouldn't be
order,
unhappy with it.
I wouldn't be unhappy with it. I'm not gonna like seek it out. It's not one of those movies. Like I can't rewatch movies all that often. Like it's gotta be, like the last time I watched Pineapple Express had to be at least like 6 years ago. Because like when I started watching, I could remember scenes, but I couldn't remember like every single scene perfectly.
Yeah.
So like I completely forgot about the police chase, the car chase, but I remembered like him selling drugs to everybody else. Okay, so to me it's like that Hawaiian pizza, still good, but I'm not gonna actively seek it out.
I would say actually my comparison is actually kind of similar to yours, but I use probably the most like generic thing, or the first food you probably think of when comparing a food to this film. Because to me, I think of Funyuns. So
Why? Okay.
what? Why Funyuns?
Okay, no. What I don't understand, you just said the first food you think about when you think about this film. Now I understand. Actually, that's the part I don't understand. I don't understand how Funyuns is the first food that you think of when you think of Pineapple Express, because I might be hitting the nail right on the nose here. I think the first food that you think about when somebody says Pineapple Express is pineapples. Now, that might be because of the name, but I don't know how you got Funyuns.
Well, because
that's the very first thing.
Well, because the whole movie has a lot of weed in it. Dale and Saul are constantly high throughout the whole movie. It's a stoner comedy.
Okay, I get that.
Action film. But so Funyuns to me are amazing.
They are great.
They're my favorite chip, even though they're not technically I guess a potato chip, but they're my favorite. And like you said, I won't go out to buy Funyuns. Every now and then I'm in the Funyun mood. But for me, even if I don't seek it out, this movie, I don't know why, it just seems to always come into my life at random points, and I just watch it.
So
and
it's a bag of Funyuns?
Yeah, sometimes I just get some Funyuns because I just want them to, and sometimes I'll get them because someone else doesn't want theirs, and then, that's a great day then. And yeah.
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. I do like that.
Yeah, and also, just, again, Funyuns are amazing. And
they are good, Zane. I'm not arguing that. I was just saying, I feel like pineapples is the first one.
Well, that's because you're just weird. But, what?
Also, Hawaiian pizza does have pineapples for people that aren't educated.
Yeah. But I'd say along with this goes up there with me with Kung Pao in terms of like watchability, or I guess multiple watches, rewatching it.
Yeah, playability or.
Yeah, replayability. Yeah, definitely. Oh, also, fun fact: Pineapple Express is an actual strain of weed. Found out. So,
Have you smoked it?
no, I don't smoke weed.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Okay. So, I guess is that it for this episode?
The only thing left to say is that next week we're gonna talk about Office Space, a movie that is dear to me because nobody at our age, for the most part, has ever seen this movie.
Well,
And
or a
it's
lot of the movies
super-
we've covered.
Yeah, and to me it's super influential. Yeah, is that the right word? Did I say that right, Zane? You usually
Yes.
correct me. Thanks, man.
You use your words
Um,
correctly for once.
I'm learning. Yeah, to me, it's just really impactful. It's used a lot today without people knowing it, and it honestly hurts to hear
It
people
hurts you.
just like quote it. They'll be like, "Oh, this is from," da-da-da," and I'll be like, "Do you even know where that's from?" And they're like, "No."
All right. Well, cool. Sounds
Yep.
great.
Do you have any other closing thoughts, Zane?
Nope. I just hope that the listeners enjoyed this episode and have a great day.
Have a great day, and again, we apologize for Zane having his hiccups, but it looks like he got rid of them in the middle
Yes.
of the episode, so
Yeah.
it was thanks to you guys.
We love you.
You cured him. Bye-bye.